Hello everyone. Do you enjoy fishing at sea, in rivers, lakes, or anywhere there are fish to catch? Today, let's follow a curly-haired guy on a fishing trip in London.
Open water spots. Boards are truly incredible.
First one from the lake.
Upon arriving at the lake, they walked around searching for signs of carp, and eventually noticed some slight movements nearby. They began preparing bait to fish, but the entire afternoon passed without catching anything. They set up a tent ready for night fishing.
Camp set up, and then began having a few monster shrimp boilie and mussel blend liquid. Not overdoing it, but position. I put 10 or so spots.
By nightfall, they had flashlights, all the necessary tools, and 5 fishing rods positioned in 2 different directions. After a while, they finally had a bite. Nighttime catches are usually quiet and don't struggle much, making it easy to reel them in. They managed to catch 2 carp that evening.
Feels good.
Oh, yes!
I think
Nice.
I think that's like mid-20.
Between 22 and mid-20.
The next morning, they woke up and resumed fishing. This time, one of them caught something, likely another carp. The curly-haired guy quickly grabbed the net to bring it in. Both were thrilled when they successfully pulled the fish ashore.
That'll be the big one. That's an absolute corker of a carp. There's a big common 30-pounder in here.
After catching the carp, they moved to a different spot to fish. At the new location, they cast bait to attract fish and, while waiting, met 2 other guys fishing nearby.
Progressed to switch over to solid bags.
And that's it. There you go. That's how you present things.
Very now, Paul. Come on.
Suddenly, they heard the signal from their fishing rod and quickly ran back to reel in the line. Sure enough, they had another catch.
Yeah, innit?
No, what do you mean? Yeah.
Despite its resistance, they successfully reeled in the carp. This one was quite old, with its scales almost entirely gone. Looking at it, they imagined it must have deliciously firm meat.
So mid-20?
Yeah. 24.
Out Alpar. I need your chef.
Cooking the meat.
They cooked lunch by the lake, and later that evening caught another sizable carp.
We carried on cooking and feeding. But sadly, it was actually a trailer. So
The next day, an older man joined the group and caught a fairly large carp as well. Overjoyed, he took a photo with his catch. The trip was a perfect opportunity to enjoy nature, strengthen friendships, and create unforgettable fishing memories. Even though the lake is set to change, they felt grateful to have captured such meaningful moments, as sometimes the briefest moments become the most cherished memories.
so we let them go without pictures. So it's been brought to my attention that the carp were removed from the lake.
Next, let's meet a fisherman who specializes in service pond fishing. Do you know what service pond fishing is? Let's find out together.
What?
This angler is at a service fishing pond in Vietnam. In Vietnam, this style of fishing is very popular and well loved across Asia. This time, he's brought all his fishing gear to the pond and begins preparing bait. He mixes 3 kilograms of corn with milk carp flavoring and lets it sit for 30 minutes. Alternatively, other types of bait can also be used. He starts fishing. Service pond fishing typically uses hand poles made of carbon or composite materials, which are lightweight and flexible, ranging in length from 3.6 meters to 7.2 meters depending on the terrain. These poles do not have guides or reels. The fishing line includes a main line and a leader, designed to be compact yet strong and durable. The float, a crucial component, is often made from goose feathers, balsa wood, or carbon fiber. The hooks are barbless to minimize harm to the fish.
Bị sóng đánh ban trục và không bị nịm câu 63, các bác nên chọn những cái size phao nó khoảng từ 1,8 g.
Additionally, service pond fishing requires accessories such as a fishing hat, chair, bait and float box, and a landing net to help when bringing the fish ashore. This style demands that the angler master techniques for adjusting the float and positioning the bait accurately, tailored to the depth where fish are active. It's not just a recreational hobby, but an art that requires patience and skill. With all preparations complete, let's see how he fishes. He casts the line and sprinkles bait around the spot where he cast. While chatting, a fish bites the hook. He asks a nearby friend for help, and luckily the fish is caught. Let's see how big it is.
Okay.
Here it is. The first fish he catches is a sizable carp. Later another fish bites, but this time it escapes. What a pity. On the next try, a fish gets hooked again. With help from a friend, he quickly brings it ashore. It's another carp. After catching 2 fish, he experiences a series of missed catches.
Kinh thật đấy. Đang xả mà nó cũng ăn. Cá đây như cá đói.
Finally, no more misses. The fish doesn't escape this time. While preparing to use the net, the fish leaps ashore by itself. Success with the third carp.
Còn thứ ba các bạn nhá.
By the end of the fishing session, he successfully catches 2 more carp. Due to the strong winds, he decides to pack up and head home. With 5 carp in total, he plans to sell them back to the pond owner. What do you think of service pond fishing in Vietnam? If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and I'll be happy to answer.
Làm em chép. Đấy. Hôm nay thì chấm trắng nó có.
Let's follow another angler who embarked on a fishing trip in Europe that lasted over 10 days with his friends. He spent 2 days searching for a spot inhabited by carp. Once he found the right location, he decided to buy a boat and floating markers, then quickly went to the spot to scatter bait around the area. By the 3rd day, he had set up a campsite, organized his fishing rods, and fully equipped himself. He carefully sharpened the hooks and prepared the bait meticulously. Using his boat, he cruised around to spread more bait and tried casting his lines, but still didn't catch anything.
Had been cleaned out in time.
While cooking lunch, the signal from one of his fishing rods suddenly went off. He rushed over and started reeling in the line.
Maybe an hour.
Wakes up.
Yep.
He used the boat to get closer to the fish, and after 3 days of waiting, finally caught a large, plump carp. After taking a picture with his catch, he released it back into the river.
Farewell, fishy. You know what?
For the next 2 days, he didn't catch anything. During this time, a group of police officers came to check if the parked cars near the fishing area were causing any obstruction. By the afternoon of the 6th day, a fish unexpectedly took the bait. Once again, he got on his boat, approached the fish, and successfully brought it in. At this moment, his friend called, expressing a desire to join him. The next day, 2 of his friends arrived. They came prepared with bait, fishing rods, and all the necessary gear.
The shared excitement for what was yet to come of us.
Unexpectedly, another fish took the bait on his rod. He began reeling it in, but the situation became challenging. He had to row his boat closer, but unfortunately the fish had tangled the line in the bushes.
I was so worried.
We might.
Net it. I was more concerned with freeing the fish safely.
Determined, he decided to get into the water to free the snagged hook.
Free. Okay, we're nowhere near we're nowhere near the fish.
Onto the fish.
Try and snap right. Doesn't ping out.
After untangling the hook, he was visibly frustrated as there was no fish on the line. His face filled with disappointment and anger.
Right, we need to get you in the warm, mate. You're shaking.
The following day, he continued fishing, but once again had no luck.
Wounds of losing that fish started to lock up the clutch and be on the...
On the 8th day, it rained all morning. He stayed in his tent, waiting patiently through the downpour.
How's it going?
And the fact that I've just lost 3 fish in a row, just that one little indication that would say, big carp now for a good while, time to wait.
By the afternoon, a fish finally took the bait. Excited after so many days without success, he reeled it in and quickly got on his boat.
It doesn't feel big, it's doing lots of head shakes.
He successfully landed a massive carp on shore. Later, his friends also began catching fish, each reeling in large carp. It would have been perfect to cook one with some pickled greens.
Tactical change. So guilty, pulling Tom and Ed are all about, making sure that everyone gets a chance to go home happy.
Eventually, they packed up their gear. The trip was about more than just fishing. It was an opportunity to enjoy each other's company, explore beautiful locations, and create lasting memories. The essence of carp fishing lies not just in catching big fish, but also in sharing unforgettable moments with friends and admiring the beauty of nature. If you love fishing, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our videos. Let's build a passionate fishing community and share amazing experiences together.
Shot we wanted.
We did it. The mark. He'd done it his way, caught by his own
Carp, I think I'll ever catch.
And after 10 days of having to put up with us 3,